The government has stated that additional costs to the legal aid system resulting from government initiatives must be assessed, and the additional funding required should be borne by the initiating department. Given your interest in seeing the extra money coming in, can you tell us how much money has been passed to the legal aid budget from other departments? And possibly can the other MPs on the panel confirm whether they would do the same?
Yeah, the legal aid impact assessment, just so everybody's really clear, is that when another department legislates or introduces a policy change that's going to impact on legal aid, it is now understood that they will pay the cost of the legal aid. That's very important, and I'm sure you know how important that is. How much money has been passed over, I haven't counted, but I know it's working because I had to go to the Legislative Programme Committee and stop a Home Office bill from coming in until they had agreed to pay the money. And there was a proposal, just to give you two examples, to introduce changes in the way rape is tried, something I support hugely, coming from the Attorney General's Department, and I had to stop that until they'd undertaken to pay all the legal aid. There is no doubt whatsoever that that legal aid impact assessment will help, and it will point the way forward for the future.
Well, if you can't give us a global total, could you give us one example of one department that's paid any money for legal aid?
What about?
I've just told you,
How much?
No, they haven't.
No, I want to know one that's happened.
Well,
I mean,
because
like,
it's only started last year.
Well, last year's a long time.
No, there are no bills that have come into force that have had an impact on legal aid since then, and so there is no total to give you. But let me make very plain one thing. We did manage, actually, to get it to work retrospectively, because I have just, with colleagues in the department, managed to get money passed over from the Home Office so that we can introduce the two outstanding bits of the domestic violence bill that have not yet been introduced. So we have actually, far from not bringing it home to its fullest, we have actually managed to make it retrospective. Make no mistake, we've got the money.
Well, why is the budget fixed for 4 years ahead then, without any increase whatsoever, if you're expecting this money coming in?
Because it's fixed. Because the question is, how do we cope with new legislation that's going to impact on this? Well, how we do that, because it's a self-sufficient cost, Andrew, is we insist that they pay it, but it has nothing to do with the increase in lawyers' fees or the increased complexity of cases or anything else. It's a self-sufficient sum which will be paid to us from the other departments. It is actually, in a lot of ways, a red herring. I'd be very ready to accept that part of the reason why legal aid has increased is because of legislative proposals, of course. Of course, that's the case. But there was a good piece of research by Richard Moorhead, who's now advising the Constitutional Affairs Select Committee, which indicated that that probably accounts for around 1/3 of the increase in legal aid. That's all. So that isn't the answer at all. The budget's fixed. There has been a settlement pre-CSR, and it stays where it is, and there is nothing that can be done about that. And we must work with what we've got. And we work with what we've got by getting better value for money for the taxpayer, by going onto a fixed fee basis. Most practitioners welcome the idea of going onto a fixed fee basis. Well, interesting that you should laugh at that, because I'm quoting James Sangbach, who is the Senior Policy Officer at the Citizens Advice Bureau in The Independent Lawyer, who has come to that considered view on behalf of the not-for-profit sector, who also says this: it would probably take just a few small modifications of the Carter scheme for providers to be able to move ahead on a fixed fee basis with great confidence. And I'm afraid that is what's happening in the great world outside. People are moving on to this basis, you know, and they are going to carry on doing it. And the first fees come in on the 1st of April. Why don't we talk about the detail? Because this is a reality now.
I think what Vera's saying is that when money comes in from another department, it isn't going to be extra money available to the DCA. It's simply that the Treasury will give the DCA that much less money. And it really seems to me that if there are extra costs, money is being transferred for that purpose, then it ought to be part of the DCA budget. And it doesn't seem to be the case. But can I just ask Vera one thing now? And John did say I might be able to. I mean, if economics really matter, why is it that today you're continuing with the Public Defender Service, which costs 40 to 90% more per time to be solicited? And what's the point of that?
Two things. Firstly, that I explained, I think, for the satisfaction of most people except a Tory, how the legal aid impact assessment works. And the Tories will, of course, seize with both hands that change that we've made, which they didn't dream of making for all the years that they were in power. Let me just make very clear that the settlement in the DCA is done, and that is that. So there is nothing more to be said about the legal aid budget. Let me just make one question back to Oliver. How much extra money are you going to put in the legal aid budget?
Well, we think that the legal aid budget should be properly funded, and here we are.
Can you answer the question about the defence office?
Well, we want to know the answer about the Public Defender Service.
Thank
Why are you funding something that costs more?
The public defender system doesn't cost more now. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Read it. Read the report properly. If you start a public defender, no, you haven't. If you start a public defender system in the middle of areas that are already well supplied, you have to open it 24 hours a day with a shop front and have fully committed staff in there, professional ones, all the time, whilst you pick up your caseload. That now is no longer the position, of course. And we have a public defender system which in 4 offices is working as cheaply as private sector people. And they're actually extremely effective. They are very independent. We have closed the uneconomic offices. We have 4 very, very good public defender offices. They offer a real foundation for the future.
Thank you very much. And I get the sense that you've got to go. So I'm sorry for that. But thank you very much for